Hey guys, I just want to make a quick video, and thank you for clicking on this video, and please subscribe. I wanna share with you something about what's happening around the world, the Ukraine war, or the invasion, or the conflict, depending on who's telling the truth. You know, depending on not who's telling the truth, but who is saying it. You know, here is one thing that I would like you to know, all of you, is that America is obsessed, the West especially, is obsessed with defeating Russia. But they are so tunnel visioned, they are not looking at the other consequences because the world has changed. It's not the 1900s, or the world has changed greatly. You know, countries today, it's not just America going to the moon. India send people to the moon. South Korea can send to the moon, people to the moon. You know, very soon will be Africa from Ethiopia sending people to the moon. You know, so how do you deal in a country, in a world that has changed so much from the 1900s or 1800s? You change the mindset. Why do I say that? America's obsession with defeating Russia in this war might actually be the beginning of the downfall of America. Why do I say this? Because look at this. What is it that America has left? It's two things pretty much. It's the military and the dollar. And the dollar, because we use it to buy oil, especially. You know? But what's happening right now is China and Russia, they've always been trying to fight against the dollar because the dollar is valueless. Since the dollar's inception, it's lost about 98% of its value. In the last 2 years, they printed out 40% of the money than they ever did in the past, whatever, 100 and something years since the dollar's inception. So the dollar is valueless, and it's not backed by anything. So what is happening right now, because there's this obsession with trying to punish Russia, they think the Russian economy is the only economy that's going to collapse. But a lot of countries' economy are going to collapse with it, especially in Europe. That's why countries that are smart, like the French, they're still buying Russian oil. And listen to how Putin is playing chess. He said, all the money you owe us, and anyone buying our oil in Europe should pay us in ruble. Now, a few months ago, at the beginning of this war, when the ruble dropped 40%, Biden was actually laughing. The ruble is like rubble. You know, he thought, oh yeah, that's it, the economy has been crushed. Now, how much is the ruble now? It's gone back up to what it was. And most people in Russia don't even consider this a war. They're just saying it's an army having their activities. You know, but what is happening right now in the world? If you look at Saudi Arabia also wants to start using the yuan to buy oil. China is buying oil from Russia, very cheap right now, very, very cheap. And they're using the yuan and the ruble. India is buying oil from Russia, even though with all the what do you call them, the sanctions and all that crap, BS. The European just paid Russia $38 billion. This is after all the sanctions, because they are owing them money. And guess what? They paid in what? Ruble. that's what Putin said. You're gonna have to pay us in ruble. So India is also buying in rupee and ruble. So the dollar already is missing out. If these economies come together, you know, China, which is almost as big as America, let's say it's about $18 trillion, but China actually has real money. So China comes together with India, with Russia, Saudi Arabia, and let's add even South Africa to that. What do you think is going to start happening to the US dollar? The value of the US dollar start going down. Because these countries say, you know what, stuff this. We don't like what's happening here. And this is where I want you guys to remember that this war, it's a glorified white on white crime. And no African president who's thinking should want to be part of this. Stay out of it. It doesn't mean we love Russians. It doesn't mean we like Russians and they like us. It doesn't mean we like Americans and they like us, or we hate Americans or we hate the Russians. Nah, it just means we are looking after our best interests. That's it. And the reason why you should stay away from this is not because Russia has so many investments in Africa. No, they don't. But Russia has always been our friend. Even in the struggle for independence, Russia used to supply most African countries with guns and others to fight. They wanted African countries to be independent. And one thing I know about Russia is that they are not a colonized country, a territorial country. And you can understand why. It's like if America lost some of their countries, because even Puerto Rico is America too. So imagine someone takes Puerto Rico, someone takes Hawaii, someone takes let's say Texas, a few years from now, California, a few years from now, trying to make your country smaller. But what we call America today as a whole is not what it is 20 years from now. It's going to be a problem. And let's say if Russia became friends with Mexico, and Russia brought missiles in Mexico facing America, what do you think America would do? They will attack. They will attack Mexico. Now, I'm not a big fan of war whatsoever. I think the smartest thing to do is to solve things without going into war. Pretty much democratically. You go there, you sit down, you sort it out. It would even be nice if the old people that like to declare war for the young people to go and fight should just go in the ring and fight each other. Where young people just watch it. Whoever wins. It'd be much better that way. I'm not a big fan of war. I don't have any side when it comes to war. It should, whether it's invasion, conflict, whatever you want to get, whatever you want to call it, there's better way to solve things. However, in this situation, the African countries should remain neutral. And the reason why they should remain neutral, everything you're hearing about Putin being a war crime, if there's a country that's a war crime master, is America. 7,000 people died in Iraq, innocent people, in the first 2 weeks of the invasion of Iraq, which we now know is based on what? Tell me again? Lies. But innocent people still died. Gaddafi was killed. What is happening in Syria? What has happened across the continent of Africa with so many people dying and so many of our natural resources being stolen? Have we ever said Bush or any of the other past American presidents were war criminals? No, because we've been brainwashed to a point where NATO can attack a country and kill people, and we still think they're doing a good job just because they are NATO, and that's danger to the world. That's one thing I would like everyone to wake up on it. It shouldn't matter. And you also have to realize that since the end of World War II, all these European countries have only been attacking non-white countries. They have the Arab League in the Middle East. It basically means they can sort out their own problems. They don't need America to go there. But what does America do? They like to go there to say they're going to fix their problems. Do they fix their problems? No, because the only people that can fix their problems is the Arabs. They take European people, call themselves Jews or something, and put them in the middle of the Middle East, and give them freedom to massacre and take land from people that own land, and say it's your land. And we support that because we've been brainwashed to think everything America does, they're doing a good job. They're doing it for the good of the planet. They're doing for the good of the world. When in actual fact, it's not true. So this obsession America has with trying to defeat Russia, it might backfire badly economically. Because I tell you what, with the inflation in America, the way it's going at the moment, and the inflation around the world, and then there are going to be food shortages. I heard someone say, oh, this might affect Africa. No, it's not going to affect Africa, man. We are farming our own food now. There's not going to be stuff like that. We are farming our own food. So we're not going to be affected by any of this. And most of our people are self-employed. That's why in Africa, no one was, if they say, take the job to get a job, you just say, you know what, stuff it, I'm going back to the village. Because in the village, you just grow your own food and you get some chickens and life goes on. We don't have to be these people who've been brainwashed to look for a job. We're not like that in Africa. 90% of the population is self-employed. That's the benefit that Africa has. That's why we've managed to defeat coronavirus without so many people being vaccinated. There's some countries in Africa where they only had 1% vaccination, and the people are still there. They're not. I know they used to say they're dropping like flies. There's no country in Africa where anyone dropped like flies. So we have to be very careful with the information that we get, and also we have to start questioning things. Let's not just have this mindset to say whatever America does, then it's the right thing to do, and we all have to go there and support it, because that's how you end up in a ditch. You gotta stop sometimes and go, hang on, what's going on here, and think about what is truly going on. Do your own research. Africa should remain neutral and never take part in this, because guess what? None of those two groups, I don't care whether it's America or whoever, care about Africans. So we have to do whatever we can do that protects the best interest of the African people, and that's, in this case, remain neutral. Because I tell you what, it's funny how Zambia, who's neighbors with Angola, cannot get Angolan oil because there is no refinery. So Zambia has to go and get a Saudi oil because it comes in refined. That's the problem we have. That's the problem we have. Because I tell you what, if we were more linked economically, all this stuff that's happening around the world wouldn't even affect us, because we'll put ourselves first. I like how Uganda has done it. Uganda has put up a refinery, and they'll be supplying oil once that starts to the rest of the east of Africa. So in the Eastern Federation, Uganda will be supplying them with oil. The southern region, Angola, Malawi, and even Mozambique, they have oil. They could have been supplying all that. Even now, Zimbabwe, even Zambia got oil. Even Namibia got oil. So there's more oil than we even need. But we haven't put up the right factories, the right steps for us to achieve that. And that's one thing we have to start thinking of, because we are still waiting for someone from Texas to come and do it, and then they take the oil to America. Africans all over the world, wake up. Wake up. We need to create an independent continent, because Africa is the only continent in the world that can live without importing anything. Basically, it means we don't need nobody. We don't need nobody. Think about that. Think about what's happening in Ukraine, how Europeans have responded, and really think about what the future is going to be like from now on. Because the world order, brother, sister, is changing. Thank you. Goodbye.